Hi everyone, this is Courtney Baumvlat. I'm a member of the Town of Cary's Historic Preservation Commission, and I am bringing you part 3 of the virtual tour here in downtown Cary, celebrating Cary's sesquicentennial on today, which is Cary's actual 150th birthday. I am in front of the First United Methodist Church, which was one of the oldest churches here, founded in Cary. You can see it right behind me here. And this church was actually founded as the same year as the town in 1871. And it is would not have actually looked exactly like it does today. I'm actually gonna flip my camera around and show you a picture of the church as it would have looked in 1871 when it was first constructed. Give me 1 second, here we go. Now this is an illustration, obviously, of the church. It was just a simple wooden structure made of lumber that was actually donated by the town's founder, Frank Page, from his very own lumber yard. Now this illustration, I want to give credit to Jerry Miller, and it's from a book he co-authored with Tom Bird called Around and About Cary, which kind of details some of Cary's history. Really great book. Now this church, we have one of our oldest pictures we found of the church. I'm going to show you now. We think this picture dates from, excuse me, a little windy today. This picture dates from around the turn of the century, late 19th century. As you can see, Academy Street there was just a dirt road, and you can see a man with his horse right in front of the church there, peeking through the trees. And you see it there as it was originally just a simple wooden church. Now, the church was greatly remodeled in 1923, and that's when this brick facade was added, along with the gorgeous stained glass windows you see today and the detailed buttresses. I'm going to actually cross the street here and get a little closer so we can see some more of the details. Now, also in 1923, an annex was added, also brick, and that was the reason they put on the brick facade on the original structure in order to make it kind of match up with the new building. And actually those original walls are still there behind the brick, the ones made out of the lumber donated by Frank Page, and they were actually uncovered in the mid-1990s when the sanctuary was expanded. And they were able to restore them and keep them, and they are still part of the structure today. I'm going to take a look at some of the details here. You can see the stained glass windows and these detail woodwork in the buttresses that were added in the 1920s as well. And I also believe the original church bell is still part of the building. And there's over the front door here. Another expansion that's of note was in 1933, a log cabin was added to the church property. Now, this cabin was constructed out of logs from the property of members of the church that were donated. And also, interestingly enough, the cabin itself was created out of labor from the Works Progress Administration, also known as the WPA, which, if you're unfamiliar, was a program created by the New Deal in order to help put men back in work during the Great Depression. In the post-World War II era, through the end of the 20th century, the church grew a lot, as did the town of Cary. And that's when a lot of the outer buildings you'll see behind the church today were added. There were some educational buildings added, a new fellowship hall. And the church changed a lot during that time, as did the town. In the early 2000s, the church constructed a parking lot. In order to add this parking lot, they had to move the historic Waldo Cottage, and it's so called because that was the childhood home of famed Cary mayor Waldo Rood. And the church graciously donated this structure to the town of Cary in order to preserve it. And it's been moved a few times over the years, and actually today it is part of the Maiden Inn. I'm going to turn down so we can see that, which is just down Academy Street, just a little ways down. And the cottage actually is still in use there as the bridal cottage, So if you are ever at the Maiden Inn, you can definitely go check that out. And that log cabin built by the WPA is still in existence too, and has been moved around the church property, but it is tucked in the back of the church. If we had a little more time, we could go explore and look at it, but definitely go check it out if you're ever down in this area. So thanks for joining us. I am going to turn it over very shortly to our final stop over down at the Cary Arts Center, which used to be Cary Academy, down at the end of Academy Street. I'm going to flip the camera around so we can see where we're headed. Down there at the end of the street. So thank you for joining us today. I'm also going to show you real quick, orient you where we are in our tour. Heather did a good job pointing everything out. There we have the Cedar Street, the Walker Hotel. Here we are at the old Methodist Church, and down our last stop will be at Cary Academy, which is now the Cary Arts Center. Please go to cary150.org to find out all the great things that are happening this year to celebrate Cary's 150th birthday. Brent at the beginning of the tour told you about some of them, including a virtual concert tonight at 8 o'clock. So be sure to tune in for that. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you around.